Dylan, what was your favorite part of today's episode?
My favorite part was that I thought I sounded really smart.
Oh, I agree. Reggie?
I love Tim's what if statement.
Oh.
And I love that Mary said, let's just wing it. And so we wung it.
I liked when Tim quoted The Dark Knight.
Awesome.
I can feel it.
Can't you feel it?
Well, look at
should we
here.
all breathe? Let's all breathe in for 4,
Well, look
hold
at
for 2,
here.
and out for 4.
Okay.
Oh, I breathed too early.
Okay, no, everybody out. Everybody out. Hang on.
I breathed too early too. I was like, I gotta hold for 8.
He's like too excited. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and. Hi, and welcome to Age. I'm Mary Greene, and I'm joined by my colleagues Dylan Garcia, Reggie Tidwell, and Tim Scroggs. I feel like I should take that again. Hi.
No,
this
I
is
love
A-
that.
It sounded so formal.
It was. Hi, welcome to Age the podcast. We don't really know what that means yet.
Age.
I was pitching for a while ageless, which I thought was kind of more us, but there's a couple of
We
things.
hope it becomes ageless.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
we are ageless.
Oh,
We
I like
the
that.
young people, I don't think are allowed to say that yet. The young people.
The young people.
Is that why we're divided
Dylan
like
and I,
this?
the
Like
young
the
people.
oldies and
We're
the
keeping
youngies?
the oldies over there. But we basically were having a
hurts.
lot of conversations about, each of us was born in a different decade. We have about 10 years of life separating us. And we just started noticing how much of a difference that makes on our worldview and our view of brand and politics and philosophy and technology and all those other things. And we like to wax a little bit poetic and get a little mushy sometimes. So here's an outlet for that. We should also probably tell them that we are a creative studio based out of beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. So look us up. Is there anything else? Oh, we should explain the trash can. Do you want to tell them? Dylan?
Yes.
Does it need an
Wait, who
explanation?
are we?
Who are we? Do you
Yeah.
want to do names and like where we came from?
No, just who are, because you know.
40 Hearts.
Yeah, I know, but
Like our
your names.
creators of enduring value? Is that what you mean? Or like
no,
us
you're
as
Mary
people?
Greene,
Oh,
she's Dylan Garcia.
I figured we were going to keep
I'm
in
Reggie
my news
Tidwell.
broadcaster part of it.
This
Definitely
is
are.
Tim
No,
Scroggs.
I'm Mary Greene.
I'm Dylan Garcia.
I'm Reggie Tidwell.
I'm Tim Scroggs.
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 So, when we came together to talk about all of the differences in our age, we wrote a bunch of topics. Each one of us wrote all of these topics on these little sticky
Stream
notes.
of consciousness, really.
Yeah.
Just writing.
And so,
We dumped them in the
our
trash
plan
can.
is to pull one out and talk about it today.
Do you want to do the honors?
Oh, I would love to. I hope it's good.
I'm nervous.
This is unprepped,
Labels.
unedited
Oh, I
labels.
gotta show them your
Yeah.
Labels.
Dylan wrote all of these for
Yo.
us.
Labels.
Okay.
First
Away it goes.
thing I think about.
Yeah,
when
what
I
do you
hear the
think,
name
Dylan?
Labels.
I hate labels.
Anti.
Yeah, I hate labels. I hate how it like has personally, like I hate when people like put this label on or like a stereotype and it's like it just feels like you're just writing it off mentally in your brain and not like allowing like true personality to come out because you've made this stereotype. So I have a bitter taste about labels in my mouth.
I feel like oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, I feel like labels can be very limiting too, because once someone labels you, you kind of feel like you're either having to play into that label, and it could kind of keep you from whatever your true trajectory is.
Right.
I see net labels as definitely negative. What were you gonna say?
But you design labels for a living.
Labels all the time.
I mean, that's true.
It's kind of our whole
Conflict
shtick.
of interest.
Yeah, I do feel conflicted. I also, like my first reaction, especially if somebody puts it on me, hate a label. Like I think a lot of people have that reaction to things like astrology. They're like, well, that doesn't determine my life path and who I'm gonna be and my
It's the
personality.
same, exactly right.
Alex hates that stuff too. He's
Yeah.
like, don't put me in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
I'm
completely,
labeled Taurus, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm not like any other Taurus. Come on.
But Reggie likes his things. And Reggie's
Nice things.
Reggie's a homebody and like makes the environment.
Damn it,
he's
is
in
that
very
Taurus
pleasant.
stuff? Oh,
But I
You
also
are your label.
but I also feel like, so those things exist and like it can be frustrating, but I also am from, I mean, it's not everybody in their 30s, but I think that there are certain things that, especially when they've first come to like exist in the zeitgeist, like giving it a name helps you figure it out. So like, I'll use queer identities as an example. We've got all these different ways you can identify, and you can have a specific word for everything. Like, are you bisexual? Are you pansexual? And it's like, there are so many people who don't even care to get into the nitty gritty of what that means. And that's not even language that enters their mind. But for some people, it's really helpful to like pinpoint that part of your identity. And that's not to say it can't change. So I don't know, mixed emotions about it.
I actually agree with you on that point. Like, for instance, the DSM-5, which is the book that has all the like, you know, personality disorders and psychological.
I thought you were naming like a camera or something.
No.
I was like,
It's
hell
a
yeah.
great one, guys.
Well, think about it. Like so they will label people based on a certain number of traits that they have. And what can be helpful in that is that if they are exhibiting a certain amount of traits based on something they've already identified as a condition, it may help them be able to support that person better.
Right.
They're like, okay, so this person is a borderline personality disorder. They might benefit from this type of treatment, you
Or
know?
the huge one, I think, in this era is all kinds of neurodivergence.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Tim, what do you think of labels?
I have a kind of embarrassing story about labels, actually.
Oh,
Bring it.
yes.
So I grew up
We
as
like
kind of
embarrassing stories.
lower middle class or upper lower class. Can you have upper lower class?
Yeah.
Upper, lower class.
So I didn't have a lot of money, that's all I'm saying, as a kid, and I couldn't afford the labels that the kids at school were wearing.
Yes.
And so I had a Walmart shirt that was a very similar color to North Face yellow. And I loved North Face. I was a climber as a kid, or I wanted to be, but I also couldn't afford that gear. So I took a Sharpie and I drew somewhat off center and
I know where this is.
diagonal, because I looked at it later and I didn't have the shirt organized right. I drew the North Face logo on my shirt. It was actually pretty good. So it's like an expression of my art and my skills as a designer.
And we're taking
Yeah.
sponsorship bids if anybody wants to get in on it.
North Face?
And North Face is still a strong label, and and Patagonia and all these labels that you see walking around. But as a kid, I guess I saw that label as a group I was connected to,
Right.
Yeah.
like a thing I like to do, or a value or a quality I wanted
Part
to
of
be.
culture, yeah.
So I wanted to relate to it and be inside of it, and so I just made my own labeled.
Did you get
t-shirt.
laughed at?
No, but
Oh,
everyone
really?
was probably
I
not
thought that's where you
saying
were going.
anything.
I thought you walked into school
No,
and
it's
they were just
embarrassing.
like,
It's embarrassing now, and I also had blonde tips on my hair.
no, that's more embarrassing.
So
than
you-
the North Face
I feel
logo.
like that's like white boy, like
And I have a
roots is,
picture
like
of
the
this,
blonde.
so if anyone wants to see it, I'll post it.
I
we
definitely
need
want to
those.
see
I
it.
need
For the
public.
socials.
I just need to flush
We
this
need
memory out of my mind.
We
So
need episode like, you know.
No, I need Will to
The
put the
gallery.
picture in right here.
The
It's just
behind the
Tim's face.
scenes, like the stuff, the references from the show.
So, like the rest of us, I am conflicted about labels because I love them, and I hate that they do what you're saying. They,
My generation right now is like on this trend of like, we're not going to wear people's brands. There's like 50-50 of us. It's like
Oh, yeah.
50 of us are like really invested into like wearing the brand and like wearing the label, like whether it's like the iconic Gap logo or like the Nike, everything like that. And the other 50% is like, why am I walking around as free branding for someone?
No, free advertising. Well,
Yeah.
think about it. Remember like back in the day, the Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica were all about big branded labels on everything. And I never got into that because I was like, you know, it didn't feel very unique to me, for one. And then two, like I had that same feeling, like why am I gonna walk around as a big advertising statement for some brand that I don't even really care about?
But on the flip side, and this starts to get into like the business world that we live in, this is hilarious that we're saying all these things about labels as people who like design logos.
that's what I'm
for a
saying.
living.
This is
Yeah.
the conflict.
But
Yeah.
I think, you know, there's also a side of it that is, so if a brand stands for something, and I might say North Face is an example of this.
Patagonia.
Patagonia being an
Patagonia's
example
a
of
really
this.
good one.
Like you were tapping into something about the thing that people who like North Face share these values or this worldview.
Culture.
Yeah.
And either you wanted to participate in that or you wanted to be seen as participating in that somehow, some way.
Right.
So I think in some ways, when it comes to something like a logo where it's like a banner that you're waving for everyone to see, it's a little bit about like finding your people.
It definitely is. And I think everything comes back to brand. I think it is like a grouping mechanism. Imagine the impact brands have today. The brand, Elon Musk moved the election. His brand, SpaceX, Tesla, Elon, moved an
his money
election.
helped.
His money, but
Money
brands
definitely
make
helped.
money. Like there are these, I think governments will actually become sidelined because of brands and corporations that have attention and move and power in that attention. So, and what's weird is that I grew up feeling more like us now, and I don't know if you feel this way too, Mary, but I don't like wearing big branded things. I don't like my shoes to be branded. I don't like my clothes to be branded, which is the direct opposite of what I was then. So I think that there was like an identification issue I had. Like I didn't know how to identify who I was to someone that didn't know me. So I thought just putting a label on myself would give me that.
You're like, I'm like
step.
these people.
Right.
But you know what I'm noticing now, and maybe this comes with age. I don't know.
Age.
But
Why did we name this podcast Age?
But like I'm less attuned to. In fact, I'm very put off by the label with the words and the graphics, unless it's like cool, like street style, which has its own like lore and background. But I'm more attuned to like, oh, who's the maker of that cool thing, and you start to notice the design qualities of the item.
Yeah.
And it's less about whose name is on the item, and it's more about craftsmanship and style of the thing. So like I was wearing Doc
And the
Martens. the
type
other
of
day.
company that they are too. I think that, like you were saying about North Face and Patagonia, if they're a company with sensibilities, like it makes you more attracted to them.
But don't you think it hides, or at least manipulates, when something could change value even under the same brand? Like when it's sold into a bigger VC or it's sold into a bigger brand, and they start taking ingredients out or lessening the amount.
Or they start
It's like
using
the mask.
China.
Right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
back in the day, early times, you
Yeah.
used to know someone in a community and they made this type of bread and everyone loved it, and there was a quality
I
of
love Tim's bread.
right. There was an understated branding there because it was word of mouth and it was a name,
Yeah.
and everyone trusted that person as a part of the community. But now brands have come in and kind of run off a lot of the smaller shops, and you have to trust that that brand is giving you that same level of interconnected, community-based quality. That someone holds them to it. Have you ever tried to call community customer service at a big brand?
Oh, these days, impossible.
like a-
Yeah,
Impossible.
no matter if it's
Forget
like
about it.
U.S. Postal Service or UPS, there's no one that wants to talk
It
to you.
used to be that they outsourced it to somebody who would work for cheaper overseas
Yeah, yeah.
and may or may not speak
Now
our
they just
language
give you
very
the
fluently.
runaround.
Yeah, now
through
they'll
the-
just like
press
send you.
4 if you
Right.
want to stay in
And
this
I
menu
tried-
system forever.
I tried to call Capital One the other day from some scam charge.
Over before you start.
And I got moved. I was on the phone for like 2 hours, moved between 6 different agents.
Oh my gosh.
And I outright threatened them. I was like, this is the worst experience I've ever had, ever.
I'm coming to your house.
I know. I was like, and one guy just blatant, like almost like an AI. He kept saying the same thing over and over. And I was like,
That's the worst.
I
That's
said,
the
I need
most-
you to prove to me that you're human.
That's
because
human-
you sound
that's-
like AI right now.
Yeah, that's so infuriating when they do that.
Right. So brands, I think, have changed. Labels, brands, the power. It's a conflicted topic.
You were talking about brands that maybe stood at some level of desirability at some point, but then had fallen because they either started outsourcing their stuff to be made in China or whatever. But Moog was one of those companies that had this in
And based in
the
Asheville,
music
too.
world, based in Asheville.
Right.
Really powerful company. The president's a friend of mine. He actually did the whole employee-owned thing, which I was like, man, you really got to support this. But then he sold it, and then the company that bought it ended up basically, I don't know how much of it is actually handmade in Asheville anymore. A lot of it is made in like China.
And then sometimes they
it's
elevate the hand done to a higher level than it was, and they lower the quality of the stuff you're used to buying.
But before, everything was made, like I knew the engineers here that were making it. They're friends of mine. So I knew if you see Moog on a stage, you know that that is a high quality synthesizer that has been tested and built and handcrafted right here in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. And now when you see it on a stage, it doesn't have the same value.
And that literally hurts me at the heart because this is
absolutely.
what we do.
Yeah.
And I have an existential crisis like every 6 months or so because this is what we do. It's not what we're talking about isn't what we do. But
Right.
we do branding, which can be made to cause these type of issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and this is the thing that really, we'll get into like chicken and egg conversations. We're trying to figure out our agency strategy in these uncertain times. And I think part of our issue is that if you state that you're a branding agency, you're a labels agency.
Yeah, right, right.
It's like, oh, let me make a logo, let me make the mask that covers up all the values. But I do think, I mean, we've all talked about this before, the shift is going toward values. And I think that I'm interested to run some tests and be like, what if you just led values first and then let the name be the backup? Like, oh, and when I want to remember who has these values and sells this thing, I'll call them this. I don't know, but I feel like the hierarchy is shifting.
But imagine if the youngins are not wanting to wear brands.
The youngins.
Imagine if you pulled your label back and you led it with a value set.
Well, there's
I can see Dylan designing her own labels to wear.
oh my God.
That's what I was
Are
going to
you not
ask you this
already?
morning. Did you
Yeah.
sew those little?
This is
Yeah.
my grandmother's shirt.
See
Really?
And
that?
she-
We got to talk more about your
love that.
grandmother in the future
Yeah,
because she's
she sewed these on.
Is this the Vogue grandmother?
Yeah.
Bedazzled.
Yeah,
I like
so
how we call her Vogue Grandma.
yeah, she's
Yeah,
Vogue grandma.
her grandmother used to work for Vogue. She's
And
such a badass.
So this is why Dylan always looks better than we do.
Better than all of
And
us.
so this is like a, what is it, Talbot's shirt?
Talbot.
Talbot's.
Oh, it's a
and-
Talbot
It's a
shirt.
Talbot shirt.
And
but
she
Yeah.
sewed all those little rhinestones and
Upgraded.
stuff on there. I love it.
I'm seeing more people doing this and like changing buttons and brooches. They're huge right now. But I'm curious, do you relate to the idea of quiet luxury? Does that mean anything to you?
I think it
Quiet
really
luxury.
does, because I think as me as like being in like, at a young age, I was immersed in like the luxury kind of brands.
Set the old ones off.
They're like,
You're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. Give me
Explain it
here.
to them. So what it mean?
to me, it's like, and you maybe have a different explanation, but it's just like subtle luxury. Like if I brought in like, let's say a Coach bag, but it has like the quiet labeling, but you know
It's screaming
So
that
you
it's
don't
Gucci.
know
It's
that
understated.
Coach, it's understated.
It's very
Now, I
understated.
do like
It doesn't
quiet. I
need
like quiet
attention.
luxury then.
I
I'm
like
in the
quiet
know.
luxury because especially
Didn't know the term.
I just didn't know. that.
especially with just my grandmother and working for like these brands, like very luxurious brands. I got to like immersed in like some really high quality things really soon on as a child. And so my taste as a young adult kind of was very fluctuated. Oh yeah.
And if there's anything experimental, it's high fashion.
Oh yeah.
Like they go
Very.
crazy, and then we get filtered down some like
Drawback.
diluted drawbacks, calm version of what's being
Yeah.
experimented
Totally.
with. So I love that edge of fashion where you can just take a shirt from a random department store, sew stuff on it, and all of a sudden it lives.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's
to me,
unique. And
yeah.
you're not going to walk out and walk into a big room and see 4 people wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. Well, don't you think though? Again, this might be growing up. I feel like I am more attuned to like, oh, what's this fabric? What fibers is this made out
is
of?
this
Or it
fabric?
seems like cotton to me.
It's
Crispy.
Talbot's fabric.
Yeah, and
It's
this has been laundered and it's crisp and
Yeah.
like somebody's
Laundered.
taken care of it, you know, that kind of
It's
feeling.
a story.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
more to it that says
What's
something
in it?
about who, not only like the brand that you bought this from. Sorry that we made this whole thing about this amazing shirt.
Hey.
But I'm really glad that we did. But like, yeah,
No,
the
go ahead.
qualities of it and then what you've done with it. Did you launder it? Did you sew exciting, I was gonna say brooches.
There's all little stuff. There's a dragonfly. There's a bug.
appliques
Is
and
the
things.
word laundered like quiet luxury instead of saying
No, that's
washed
actually
it?
like more
Really?
laundered money. You know, that's
Oh,
more.
I know, like laundered
Like
money.
an Ozark where they
Well,
throw
when-
it in the.
My wife's like, honey, have you laundered the clothes yet? She's
That
like,
does sound very luxurious.
It does.
It's been
Doing the
more.
laundry is like, yeah, threw it in there and then I threw it in the next thing and then I
Exactly. It's a
hung it
tone
up.
thing.
Laundered is like, I starched this and I ironed it. Or I like sent
It's
it
a
to
whole
the dry
process.
High-end
cleaner.
laundry.
I'm having this laundered.
It's
I don't
like
do
a
laundry.
spa day. It's laundry. I know.
Maybe I
My
can.
clothes are having a spa day because they're being laundered.
Well, here's something I find interesting about
Love
when
it.
you were saying about the materials is that there is a need in our economy to scale things because
Yeah.
you can't do.
Or is there?
Well, the
I
thing
think
is
there
that you
is. There's a
you
desire
can't
to
make
scale.
the product and enough money to live unless you scale. So like there's this frustration or this friction. So even of a local company here in Asheville, who we love, East Fork, we knew them when they were designing and making with their hands their dishes, their pottery. They have scaled up, and people around the nation, maybe even the world, know them now.
Oh yeah, they're very well
But they've had to change certain processes, which they get some heat about because they're not all handmade anymore. They do certain handmade specials, but a lot of them are built in a different way. And all of us old lovers of the brand, we can complain about it, but it's like in an effort to support more staff, to make the company more of an impact. They pay all their employees a living wage, and they keep increasing that as living wage goes up. This is not supposed to be a commercial for East Fork, even though we would do East Fork commercials.
I need a mug.
Yeah.
But the thing I was saying is that you get stuck in this, it's like maybe, it's like this relationship with the environment you're in, that you can become the thing you hate because you want it to be good. Like Patagonia started off with this really intense, and it still is intense.
Yeah.
Compared to other organizations of their size, but I know someone personally who worked inside of Patagonia for 11 years, and they say it's nothing like you think it is. It's not a great environment to work in. Yvon Chouinard does not come in with the glorious halo on his head like we all think he does. He's intense. He comes in and he just yells at people, and I'm not going to spread rumors.
We don't know.
I've heard he's intense, and it's his right. You have that size company, you just got to get intense. I'm just saying that.
And sometimes
what if
intensity is
it's like the quote
necessity.
It's like the quote in the Batman movie. You live die the hero, or you live long enough to become the villain.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Only the good die young. Billy.
Will, you feeling that? We're looking for Will for
I
reaction.
feel like Will gets that big time.
So brands, like, they start off East Fork, Patagonia, as this hero.
Yeah.
We make all our own fabrics with ladies in some country where they're supporting their home life, and then all of a sudden, like 10 years later, they're like, kids are producing everything.
Yeah.
So what is that? Is that
At scale.
Not to question the premise, but let me question the premise and say, like, do we need to scale? Or is that just the norm, and everybody wants to become a billionaire, and the only way you become a billionaire is to scale and get involved in higher financial markets and things?
I mean, the East Fork example I think is cool because, to Tim's point, like part of their desire to scale was so that they could support more people and be able to pay their employees a living wage. Their employees are pretty awesome, and the people that I know that work for East Fork are really like completely elated to be a part of that company.
Right.
And so there are stories like that feel really good. But then I'm sure there are a lot of them where the company has scaled because the leadership wants to be wealthier and wealthier, and that doesn't trickle down to the staff.
But here's the thing, there are two types of businesses. Well, there are multiple types, but the two types that are kind of grouped with what we're talking about
label types.
are a
Put them in label.
growth-based business,
You're labeling
which
them.
scales and grows. I know. And let's label. Since it's called
labeling
labels,
them.
let's label them. And then there's a lifestyle business. Lifestyle businesses are ones that don't have that much investable value. There's what someone has done, and they love the life it brings them. They like the quality. They like the daily tasks.
Right.
And retired people will actually get into lifestyle businesses because they just want to work. But you can actually accidentally create a lifestyle business and not know it because you're not growing. That's what makes a company valuable, is to have cash flow and growth. So scale is a growth company. So if you want to build a growth company, and like, we don't have retirement coming to us, most likely. I mean, I might because I'm older, but you might not. So now we have to think of different ways to.
We're hearing it here first.
Wait, what does that make me? I'm
what are
older
you
than you.
doing?
Am I
You're
already
definitely going to
retired?
have retirement.
Am I retired already?
What are you guys doing? We're
Jeez.
retired.
No,
Oh my
but maybe
gosh.
maybe something. But the thing is that we are trying to figure out different ways to be able to retire. And a scaling growth-based business is one way
It's
to
one way.
retire. You sell the
Absolutely.
company. A lifestyle business, you can't sell it. If you build it to a certain level, you could just keep working until you die, which maybe I don't know. That's
You
not
don't
bad. I
think,
feel
you
like
don't
that
think a
was
lifestyle business would be attractive to a potential buyer?
It just doesn't have. I mean, it could, but that person.
It's more of an apprenticeship model, I feel like,
Right.
at that point. Somebody's got to be in the flow
Yeah.
with you and then just naturally.
I also-
And then you hand it down to
And
them.
if you want money to retire on, you need it to be valuable. You can't
Right.
just give it away.
I also feel this way about like corporate and self-employed.
Yeah.
So like you guys, especially starting this, thank you, because this has supported me for a year.
We're having a good time.
Thank you.
Having a good time on this ride.
So I met a really good friend of mine now. He is like a franchisee of like Jersey Mike's. And
you know who you are.
yeah,
We will accept payment in subs or pottery.
and so,
I'm free, no
Subs or
subs for
pottery?
me.
he is self-employed, and we were talking about this conversation with him of like, yes, he's setting up a Roth IRA, everything like that. But if like something happens with the Jersey Mike's brand,
He's
Gone.
He's gone.
Right. It could
and
end
his
him.
whole
All his eggs are in one
family,
basket.
everything like that. So I kind of feel that same way about like self-employed. It's like it is really hard to be in self-employed to like produce this like art business, lifestyle business, whatever you call it, and be able to have the same as the corporate. So it's like I praise corporate in some ways because it's able to like do the financials of like retirement,
You got
health business.
consistency and you've got the benefits. Yeah.
But I feel like there's like a really good joy in like being self-employed as well. But
The American dream, right?
yeah, it is the American dream.
I'll say this, and we talk a lot about my baggage from my, 1 decade of agency experience.
That's a long decade, though.
Yeah. Oh, it was a decade that took me 30 years.
I've only been
What kind of
alive 2
baggage?
decades.
Is
so
it
we feel that way.
Is it,
is it Coach?
quiet
Is it
luxury?
Coach? Is it Coach
quiet,
or Fendi? What kind of baggage are we talking about?
quiet luxury baggage?
I was definitely social climbing at the time, so it's some sort of somebody.
yeah.
High fashion baggage?
I don't know that it's high fashion. It's probably like one of those millennial like Allbirds or like the made well away luggage.
Oh,
yeah,
so it's not
a
haute
bit-
couture or anything like that.
like
Gotcha.
she's
New wave.
Reggie. Like, what was I gonna do? But I think that I will say this, and you two have been entrepreneurs for a really long time. You've been running your own entrepreneurial endeavors, like individually and with a team. But I will say, when I stepped out of agency life, the narrative that you hear when you quit your full-time job is like, oh, well, that you've lost security. Like, there's no,
Oh,
you're out
yeah.
there on your own.
In the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some people who get excited about that, and maybe there's a little part of me that was, but I think I felt so subject to the decisions of my business owner at the time, the person who was in that company that I was working full time for, the people who had founded that company, which was a small business. I think we were an LLC until the last year that I was there, and then we became an S Corp. And we had fewer than 30 employees. We were constantly the freelancer dance that so many agencies do. We'll do another episode on how the agency model is dying, and we're reacting to that. But
Only if it's in the trash can.
yeah, we'll throw it in. Let's trash that one.
Trash that idea.
But I felt an immense sense of relief, not only because I was had an opportunity to become less burnt out by that system, but also just the security that I was supposed to feel in that full-time role, I was not getting. It felt very much like they could make a bad decision or place a poor bet, and now my whole job is
Right.
whatever. They
It's
could
gone.
lay me off at any moment.
Yep.
Like, there was no loyalty or sense of because you've
Or
been
trust.
here. Yeah, I had no trust because I'd seen it go poorly for other people.
Right.
And because I knew that I was, at the end of the day, like a tool. Like, I was being leveraged to get from point A to point B, which if
That
that's
totally
a
makes
difficult, we have to war with that here.
You got that in your experience. Like, you felt that while you were living through it. So when I was growing up, that was the goal, to get into that safety. Because I don't know how advanced entrepreneurship was when I was a kid and a teenager. My first job was at Gap, and there was.
It's where he established his fashion sense.
I learned to fold. Perfect fold. An entire denim wall.
That's quiet luxury, I feel like.
know. You should see me fold now. I still got
Hey,
it.
I need-
My kids are like, Dad, how do you do that?
You're laundering.
I'm laundering. But when I was raised, I guess the structure was built in a way that you needed one of those jobs
Yeah.
to fit into the society.
Well, if you wanted to have kids, if you wanted to have insurance,
Right.
if you had any of this stuff.
And
That stability.
I grew up in a church playing music, so that's what gave me my rebel spirit to do whatever I wanted, because as a musician, but here's the thing, right, I mean, that was part of it, but here's the thing with music, you're also trying to get in with the record labels in my day, like sign a deal. But the thing is, record label. The thing is that when you want or need a label deal, they don't want you. When you don't need or want a label, they can't, right, they want you so bad. So there's this, and again, the friction, there's this controversy happening between what it means to be in a label or in a company in safety.
Excuse me.
Consume time.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Sometimes Reggie
That was
will sneeze.
unscripted. That was...
Sometimes we'll hear Reggie sneeze in his office, and Dylan and I will lock eyes. We're like, right?
He died.
Did it just explode?
What's I saying? Sneezed me right out of
What's I
topic.
saying?
Rewind the film. What do you...
Pull it back.
So I was gonna say, now I feel like entrepreneurship is a label, and that's something we're being
in Asheville.
In Asheville, especially.
Well, then we can talk about that.
Right, and so, and I brought this up to you, Dylan. I was like, the first question I would have been asked when I was starting out on this journey was, do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, yeah.
Not that I would have understood what that meant.
You didn't ask yourself that?
I didn't even know what this meant. I didn't know.
Became one.
I didn't know I'd be doing my own taxes, my own business management, my own everything that wasn't creative.
You're not doing
And I don't know that a lot of creatives.
Well, accountant and a CPA.
At my first agency, when I was freelancing, I was just going to be this free creative.
Oh, yeah, that's not how it
doing the
works.
creative work. And I know a lot of creatives out there, young creatives, feel that sense of like they want to be free. But there is some protection in numbers.
Yeah.
You know, there is safety in a community of numbers.
Yeah, because when you're solo, the hat you wear is
You're wearing like
never-ending.
3 jobs, 4 or 5 jobs. Right.
yeah.
And
I was like, me?
You're like,
Is this
Swiss
about
Army
me?
knife? You're like,
no, but so
we throw Dylan around. We're like, Dylan, go there. Dylan, do this. And she has done it so far.
But I
pushes back when she-
went into music to do music, and that career kind of ended because of the world. And then I went back to school at a late age, had 2 kids in college. That was fun. It was a whole experience. But I came out of college wanting to get into the agency world, which is where you were, because I thought I could learn the ropes in that world. And I wanted to go to Brand Center in Richmond, Virginia. So I had to go back to school to do that. So that's how I got back into school. But when I got out, my wife and I were like, let's just start our own creative company. So we didn't even know we were getting into entrepreneurship.
Right.
We just thought we could do it, and we did it. And it was intense. And I would say out there, anyone that's getting into this, know if that's what you want to do. If entrepreneurship is how you want to roll, because it's a battle. It's a brutal
a lot
path.
to chew off, I can tell you that.
Right,
much.
it's not that it doesn't come without its rewards
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and its benefits. But I think here we want to create a place where creatives can learn in a different community than just go out there and like die on the battlefield.
Right.
I'm worrying, this is one of the like changing dynamics that I'm like, is this the cutting edge that we ought to be like riding? Is there some in between? Like, historically, I've viewed it as either you are the business owner and you're an entrepreneur and you're out there on your own, and maybe you've got people that you're trying to support at your company, like Eastwork, but like it's up to you to like navigate the business world, do the taxes, keep compliant, all that stuff. Or you're this full-time employee, you do what you're told, there's a ladder for you to climb.
Right. Those are 2 extremes.
They supply you with your tech and your benefits and your whatever in the workplace, and they build a culture, whatever. But I feel like we're coming to somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Because the full-time thing doesn't appear to be working for agencies, and the freelance thing doesn't fully appear to be working for creatives.
We need each other.
Yeah.
Right?
And especially for someone, I just like...
I like the center
You
of
wore the
attention
shirt.
being me.
The shirt is drawing us in.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan draws us in every day. She's bringing inspiration into our lives. But I think, like somebody coming out of school, the idea that you graduated and then immediately began you interned and then began freelancing is sort of a wild concept to me. Like that was not ever in the cards from where I was standing. Like you had to go work in an agency
same.
and
I
cut
felt
your
the same
teeth.
way.
And that was part of why I left North Carolina. I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'll do it now, and I'll go to New York.
Right.
I had the exact same path as Dylan.
Really?
Yeah.
To freelance?
I did an internship And then I actually started freelancing before I graduated. And then I started my own business right out of school.
Well, did you have your degree was business, right?
No, well, I had my associates was in business administration
you had
and
some
transfer
groundwork.
studies, but then I got a BFA in graphic design. But actually, what's interesting is that I actually did that for a year solo.
Yeah.
And I decided to go to the corporate world. I ended up having the reverse experience where I was like, I'm lonely. I'm in this basement designing by myself, and I'm a social creature. And I'm like, this isn't very
You are
fun.
that to the nth degree. You are a
So
social
I ended
creature.
up working at a Fortune 500 company as their resident graphic designer, and they would happen to be a Macromedia authorized training facility, which is where I learned Flash and became this nationally recognized Flash developer. Worked
sorry.
with all I know,
Wrong
right?
technology.
Wrong technology. But it gave me a lot of inroads to. I was the web partner for all the big agencies in St. Louis, so it definitely helped bolster my career. But to the point of being an entrepreneur, especially if you're solo, like a freelancer, versus being a part of something bigger, it really also depends on who you are as a person, like what your tendencies are. I want to be around people.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think who you are, because the youngest and the oldest have this similar path, and we have a similar path. But it's interesting how life gives us hints
Yeah.
that relate to us in
Yeah.
our story.
Yeah.
You know, like you get this hint to freelance while you're in school. Like life somehow pushed you into that. And there was an element of that in mine when certain things failed and I had this opportunity. But that is for all of us. There's a unique path that we're all walking on. So maybe it'd be the wrong question to ask myself about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Let's
How
scare
do
you
you,
off.
right?
How do you even know?
You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Who the hell are you?
But I do think that those, to bring it back to labels, there's an understanding about what all these decisions mean that's built in the label of what our world has made, the meaning of that label.
And it to the point about like, let's not put it in a box. Even the label itself is always shifting. It is expanding, and contracting, and repositioning. And so like, it's not evergreen, you know? It's like a brand. It's constantly changing.
And the anti-label becomes the new label. The meme culture becomes the new label, or the anti-meme, as my son likes to talk about, where it's just not funny on purpose. And I'm
We're
looking
in
at like,
postmodern memeing.
right. And then
It's a lot.
postmodern's a label.
Yeah.
You know, modernism is a label. There's just, you can't get away from it. So what is the meaning? Why do we have labels?
Well, I have a linguistics degree, which I clearly am
Bring it,
putting to
Mary.
great use. But everything is just a label, guys.
Everything's
Everything
a
is just
everything's
somebody
a
looked at
label.
something and said, that's a packing blanket. We're using them for soundproofing. And like, that's what we described it as. And so now
Here.
and the reason we did that was probably one, for the joy of hearing ourselves say something, like we enjoyed communicating, but it's so that you and I could connect and be like, we share reality for a moment. You and I both agree that that's a packing blanket.
Yeah.
And so I think there's
Sure
a
is.
beauty in that, in the language of it. I mean, if you can allow yourself, if you can refuse to be constrained by it, I guess, and like love the ambiguity of it.
Oh,
It's not
man.
about what the word means, it's about what meaning do we assign
Share with
to
it.
it.
Right.
I wish I had known that in my early 40s.
Oh, that's called a packing blanket?
No.
It would have saved me so much time.
An epiphany.
It was when my wife and I were still friends. We weren't even dating yet. And we were hanging out one day and she referred to me as middle-aged. And my whole world like collapsed. I was like, what do you mean middle-aged? I'm like 41 or what? I'm like, I'm not middle-aged. And
This is
And
what he
then
said
I
when you call him a boomer.
had the harsh reality and like awakening, like, oh, I guess I am middle-aged. And I became old, like overnight, just like that.
In your thinking?
Oh yeah, I just became,
so
my whole
you're-
body just like, no, I'm just kidding.
But you touch on a good point, though. When you start to subscribe to the label,
Yeah, you
how does it
become
change your actions?
Yeah, I definitely found it very jarring. And I like pushed back, and then I was like, well, wait, maybe she's right. And then there's this whole like process I went through.
I am old.
It was like a grieving process.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been 38, which didn't feel like middle age.
My children think 38 is very old, so.
Oh yeah, we're
I'm
middle-aged.
ancient.
I'm compared to like the people who ascribe that label.
Yeah,
like,
we're middle aged. There's the label.
I've been 35 since I was I don't know,
30?
12. So and I looked at two. I'm curious. You gave me an idea. We've got a little list of things that we're trying to hit, so that's what I'm looking at. We're the next segment.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Say
I know
that's
you
a
don't like
label.
that
I don't like that label.
That's his least favorite label.
Now,
segments.
The dance segment.
This next segment.
Da-da-da-da-da. I think that to your point, Reggie, like if you embody, good trigger word right now.
Ooh,
if you embody the label, it does change you from the
does.
inside out.
Yeah.
And so I think knowing that and being aware of it
You can hijack the system
could change
and
the
not
world.
embody. Yeah.
Or like pick a
right.
label that levels you up instead
Yeah.
of draws you down.
Oh, I
like
love that.
what inspires you? What can you step into and become? It's like the process of becoming. Like you're constantly growing into something. What are you growing into?
I'm not middle-aged. I'm half glass full aged.
Ooh.
Well,
Yes, absolutely.
okay, but I'm gonna push back a little bit only because sometimes when you are in a scary position, like if you don't have enough money or we don't have friends, you want the label to help save you. Look at what you gaze upon creates who you are. So if you watch enough videos back to back, you can actually change yourself to become something.
Yeah.
You can, like fake it till you make it is a thing that is real. Like
That's true.
it's something about walking into the unknown is about faking it till you make it. But there's also a point at which you can fake yourself out and end up somewhere you don't want to be.
Yeah.
And so I call this, just a few days ago, I recorded a video that I was talking about ruthless authenticity. And I know authenticity is a buzzword, and every company has it on their values, which is kind of lame. But in this case, it fits. Ruthless authenticity, like be ruthless about who you are.
Yes.
And,
I like that.
and if you don't know who you are, be aware that what you're watching can create
It will
and
shape who you are. Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
in a time, in a difficult time,
You are what you consume.
we sometimes think we have to contort ourselves to fit and to be successful. But that's not the way branding works. The differentiator is the most important part of branding and labels, standing out. So
What sets you aside from your competitors?
right, so it's like, I like how you were bringing an optimistic or like what inspires you. Live into that label of yourself and maybe name your label for yourself. But then we want community. So if we're aware that the label we're diving into can change us, then maybe we become more aware about how we're choosing that or how we're walking into it.
I love the food metaphor. Like you are what you eat.
Yeah, yeah.
The same goes for like your
Your
media
eyes.
diet.
Yeah, whatever you consume is who you become.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, and there are whole digital farms that put content out to make something look like the trend.
Oh yeah.
And so sometimes we will think, oh, a lot of people are into this, so I can be a part of it, and it's not even, it's a scam. That's the digital world we live in,
It's
is
a
largely
facade.
a facade and a
It's what they're
scam.
putting- yeah.
You have
Wow.
to be with people. You have to be in spaces to feel what's real.
You also have to like, what you're saying to me also resonates on the level of like self-knowledge or knowing that you don't know yourself, but like a
Yeah.
sense of identity and like what is in here, agnostic of what's out there.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, we're ones to talk like pot kettle kind of situation, but you can't let what is popular dictate what's in here.
No.
It can inform the way you navigate. Like I think you should be aware as you're moving through it, but it doesn't mean that you have to become it.
Right,
It's happening.
and even in the age of AI, where we're like running all our emails and all our texts through this AI engine, that's like, you should sound like this. Everyone wants you to sound professional. We're losing a sense of each other. Like, how does this person respond to their emails? Oh, they're kind of dry humor.
Yeah.
This person's just kind of curt and straightforward. This person's really friendly and bubbly.
Why'd you point at me when you said that?
I know you start your emails that way, but you soften them. But I think that there was a part of that helped us connect to each other. And now AI is kind of, or the thought of AI
like
and
hijacking
how it's influencing people is that you need to sound clear. You need to sound professional.
Sanitized almost.
Sanitized,
It's like, let's
right.
bland everybody out. And I think our capacity to even take in those different kinds of personalities or quirks or like to recognize humor when we see it is probably being decreased because we're getting so much of the white bread people, white bread
But
version,
it was trained
Wonder
on
Bread.
it was trained on the internet, which is largely
Yeah.
bland.
It's
Or
just the lowest common
becomes-
denominator.
Do you think though, like,
Banana.
I have this like crazy envision, and like maybe it's just the world we're living in, and like the young adult media.
Bring
I
us hope.
consume- Yeah.
Dylan, please.
Yeah. The young adult media, all that I consumed was that, like, you know, you had the Hunger Games and like the Maze Runner, and it was like there was all these like very bland people who got very manipulated into the system.
Yeah.
And they were the cut and narrow, like the squares basically. And then there was always like, I call them the circles, but like the people who would always like revolt and like have that personality.
Right.
I feel like brands, and like we were talking about earlier, how like government like swayed with these brands. I feel like it's all part of the plot. Like, I feel it's like if someone can have you buy into this label or brand, they've manipulated you in some way.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's good or bad, like, you
Right.
wear the jeans until
You
they fray out.
believe that
Yeah.
that's going to make your life better.
Bought in on their
You've
vision.
bought in.
Literally.
No, that
And
totally
I think
makes
once
sense.
it's the buy-in, it's like, oh, we could release this trend, like the Gap jeans. I have a pair of Gap jeans.
love
They're
Gap jeans.
iconic.
These
They're
are
full of
Gap
stripe.
iconic?
No,
Those
these are not Gap.
Oh, I was gonna say,
I
those
have
are
a
cool.
pair, but I bought into it, and then everybody has these striped jeans, and I was like, I am part of like, what is it, the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I am Truman. I was like,
You're
I
the
am
experiment.
Yeah.
That's where I get a little like conspiracy theory about labels and everything like that, because I'm like, this is all a system, this is all a plot. And however, like when it's trendy and it gets duped and it does all this stuff, it's like you're buying into this manipulation.
Can I tell you, I'm not going to tell you which elementary school, but it's one that I attended. They make teachers, I only attended one. Sorry.
Someone's going to be doing some research on
I
it.
know.
changed,
We're
they've changed, I don't know.
We're gonna look it up.
You have to a parent has to sign a permission slip to let children read the Hunger Games.
Oh, really?
I learned that last year.
Wow.
That's interesting.
To,
Hey, at least they didn't ban it.
to,
I mean, it might as well be.
what do they call that? Anarchist or
guess.
rise against the man?
I don't know if they specify why.
Well,
Is
what
it
if-
that? Is it that made that required the permission slip, or is it because it's kind of
It's intense.
it's intense.
Killing and murder.
Kids killing kids. He's like, I would hope it would be because of that.
But don't you think that her brand helped the revolution?
Yeah, no.
So it was almost like the same thing. Well, it's not almost like exactly like the same thing can be used
Katniss's
for good,
brand?
good or evil.
Anti-patriarchy.
Yeah,
Who's brand? Katniss?
Katniss. She was the
Mockingjay.
bird, the
Oh
Mockingjay.
yeah, that's the
Oh,
next
yeah,
book,
that's
right?
right.
Is like she becomes this pawn almost.
That's
getting
right.
used.
But they try to use her brand for evil, but she rises up inside of it to
Yeah.
become good and to. So we were talking about protesting.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about how protesting can get so easily manipulated, and they send rogue agents in and just ruin the movement of a protest.
The
It's an-
agent provocateurs.
Right, and it's like this, it's almost like they've ruined what protesting used to be in the 60s and the 70s. And I was asking Reggie, what is the new protest? I don't know that the way we protest now is the most effective way to change the things that we want changed.
Yeah.
It's not buying things.
What it could be not buying, but what if it's turning the label against the one who
Like giving it new meaning.
right? What if labels and brands are the new protest?
Cancel culture.
Could be canceled, but it could be adopting a brand that is. No, I like yours. I like cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
This happens all the time.
But do we cancel or do we do? I'm torn again. It's
know.
a contradiction. Like if we adopt a brand that has the values that do protest against what's wrong, that much movement together in a community could change it. That's like a protest of what you're buying, of what you're supporting.
I think it's
And
both.
it's great. The problem is when you do have agent provocateurs and you have this movement and it's positive and everything is happening, and then these people get sent in to like, I was just watching this, Harrison, my wife and I were watching the new show with, what was the name of it? It's with Claire Danes. And there's this one scene where they're trying to have this like peaceful protest about this development coming in and taking over this like community. And the sort of the protagonist in the whole thing, or the antagonist, was sending in these rogue agents
Right.
to like, blast stuff and create a big scene and
It's
create
to
this
ruin the
violence
sentiment.
so that everybody goes, oh yeah, see, they're not peacefully protesting.
violent.
And so then all of a sudden the label gets shifted to like, we're no longer peaceful protesters, but
Right.
we lost control of it.
Right. So that could happen in the branding world too.
Oh, it absolutely could.
But don't you? There's an element of that that's just like you gotta lock eyes and stand together and hold ground.
Ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless. And it's about positioning. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm not moving.
Right. And holding your position.
Holding your position. And
Because
the
you
cool
can-
thing is people are seeing, they know this is a thing now. I did see one recently where they were having this protest and this guy, obviously a provocateur, he came in, he's like, didn't look like everybody else, but he was like, he burnt a flag in the middle of the thing. And these protesters followed him and filmed him and said, hey, who sent you here? You're not a part of this. Look, you're getting in, you're waiting, you're not talking to us. And so,
This isn't our movement.
they're right, and they were exposing it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know why I'm going back to the Hunger Games. I don't want to
okay.
make this about Katniss.
It's
but
iconic.
They
protested
are
him, right?
tempting her to join their
Rebellion.
wealthy, high-end, don't suffer anymore life.
Yeah.
And she refuses
Don't
it.
suffer anymore life.
So she has I think
That's a good label.
she has a
You are a Taurus. I'm
wanna-
so sorry.
I want
but
to
you
don't
are.
suffer anymore life.
but she chooses against it. Like she is ruthlessly who she is.
Yeah.
And her story is such that, and I don't know, maybe this is a fairy tale. Maybe there's no one this ruthless, but there's got to be people that stick to their guns when they have something.
I think it's that she was able to stand on her true values, but also there were so many people that were pouring into her.
Right.
I don't think you get ruthless authenticity without knowing inner being. I feel like that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, like when we get in this scale and it's like all billionaire, it's all like internal. You're going to justify anything. Like
That's so true.
if you say something to someone and you're like, oh, well, I'm never going to see him again, you're justifying your poor action against them.
Yeah.
So that's how the climb happens. That's how like the trickle down happens.
It's not,
really
it's
good
not
point.
personal. It's
Yeah.
business.
It's business.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I
Yeah.
think
That one.
the ruthless authenticity that we want and that we're craving, we have to like pour that into other people if we want these businesses to thrive with this like culture we're doing. So it has to be like your internal values. We have to find people who, or they will come to us, that want to have these values that they stand on. But then also we have to like, you got to pour into people what you want as well.
Right.
So it's like,
That's such a true.
if you're being ruthless, like ruthlessly authentic, chances are you didn't get there by yourself.
Yeah.
And so I
a
think
really
it's
good point.
like taking that image of self out of it. That's how I think growth really happens, is when you have the pour in.
Man,
and you
look
know
at
what your
bringing
value
the
is.
wisdom.
That was beautiful,
Dylan?
Dylan. Thank you.
I mean, honestly, all the time. we get pretty heady, and Dylan's like, guys, but what if we were just maybe like nice to each other and connected with people?
Sometimes it's so stupid simple.
Like,
She just brings it down,
yeah, I
brings
think
it.
Reggie can kind of do that too. He's like, but what if we just watched a movie? And then we're like, actually, that would be
Hey,
nice.
don't
Maybe
tempt me
Tim
with
and
a
I
good
are
time.
crazy.
So keeping it simple, I like that.
So what's a what if here?
What if we kept it simple
What if we
and
did?
just loved each other? I hate that sounds so ridiculous, but
I
it
hate
kinda
that
feels,
that sounds so ridiculous.
What if we-
Why should that be ridiculous?
I don't know. It
That's
feels like you're
not
not allowed
ridiculous.
to
It's
love each other
awesome.
in a professional context.
You absolutely can.
I think you should be able to too.
And what
because
if
I
we-
love you. You're
I
my
love
best
you.
friend.
Absolutely, brother. You are mine.
And I love you, Dylan. You've been with us for a while. And Mary,
Yes.
you're not left out.
You guys already know I love you because I tell you guys all the time. But
Reggie
what
comes
if-
in and hugs everyone
Yeah.
every day.
That is true.
Yeah,
It's the
I'm waiting for
sweetest
HR to
No.
he touches
But, like-
people too much.
But like, isn't that interesting? How it's like, oh, there's this broker, like there's this professional distance that you're supposed to keep, and
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I can understand moments where those boundaries are important, but I trust you to hold that boundary for yourself.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
trust our relationship that you can come to me and say, actually, Mary, it made me uncomfortable when you grabbed my ass in the middle of that hug. I'll be like, you know, I was trying something new, and I get it.
Thanks for saying it for me. I'm just kidding.
Not a
Parents
joke.
are so bad.
I don't think that's a joking matter. That does happen. But the reality
Yeah,
of there is true
yeah.
love in places. There are people that care about people still.
My what if is what if we embrace the labels that serve us and reject the labels that hold us back.
And run headlong toward the good ones.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't be talked off.
Even if that label
yeah.
hasn't occurred to you yet,
Just work toward
just
it.
work toward it. Just
Define it.
yeah, to Mary's point, just run headlong.
We love
You know
defining
what?
labels.
Yes,
We are
we do.
meeting, I don't mean just like here at 40 Hearts, but we as humans, I think Carl Jung said this, like we are meaning makers. We
Yes.
are storytellers.
Yes,
we
we are.
take events and we share reality and we say, this is what I think it all adds up to. And I think if we do that, we're literally like creating the reality that we want to live in. And we kind of, I mean, Will can tell us because he gets to like step away a couple days a week. But like we kind of get into our own little reality bubble here, I think. And it can have its downsides if we're not careful. I think we try to stay vigilant and like tapped in. But there is some level on which you can be like, yeah, we're going to just make the dream happen. We're just going
Yeah.
to do the dream.
Exactly.
And not be talked off of it. We're just following Dylan, basically. Wherever she goes, we're going to take that.
I think there's a missed opportunity for the label company Avery to like do some kind of play on like
yeah.
labels of life,
Yeah.
like choose your own label.
I had trouble
kind of
placing
thing.
that label at first, but
It took
name
me a second
tags.
too.
The name,
Yeah.
like they do name
Labels,
tags,
printable.
all the labels.
Oh, I like that you
all
bring this up. I
all
feel
the
like-
labels you put in the like printer to print on, all those are Avery labels.
Yeah.
They could totally do a campaign like choose your own label, right?
Maybe we should like
We should hit them
DIY it
up.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the
But I
spec
love
project.
when someone wears a name tag.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I can talk to them in a different way because it's like you're giving like a doorway into someone's life.
You'll still forget their name though.
And Wassel, that works here?
yeah,
No, I won't forget it while they're wearing the name tag.
Right. If he wore a name, we're gonna require people to wear name
No,
tags. in
Wassel
our
wears
office.
one.
He does.
Yeah, the first one is a friend of ours in the
He
place
does.
we work, the building we work.
Where's that
He
name?
bought a Taco Bell one.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. A Taco Bell name tag that said Wassel,
And
whatever his
there's,
last name
there's
is.
values.
I love that.
I'm a Taco Bell stan.
seems
I'm
like
not
a
really
Wassel.
proud of it, but
Hey, it's
I also kind of am.
I
But
loved
I
Taco
think-
Bell
isn't
back
there
in the
something-
day.
Like wearing a name tag is like saying, "Hey, I get that I'm an unknown entity, but I want to connect with you."
Right. And it's your name. What a label.
Yeah.
Don't-
That's the
I mean,
best
we didn't even
label.
get into that one.
That's the best label.
Because
We can't.
like name
I was
changes,
labeled Reggie and I'm okay with
Some
it.
people change their names. Like that's your fundamental label.
Don't talk to Mary about names.
Mary.
Aw, but
Mary
Mary's
has
so
a really hard
cool.
time with names.
White
We love
contrary.
Mary.
We're not going to turn the episode into this, but there's
Mary.
some baggage with the name Mary.
Okay, so mine is what if labels didn't define us, but empowered us?
Ooh, I like that.
That's mine too. I'm
You can't
stealing
take
Tim's.
that.
Label sharer. I feel
That's a really good one.
What are we
like
going to change or do because of this? Like, how does this mean
keep
it?
designing more labels.
logos, shall we?
Makes more
We're gonna approach Avery and say, we got a great idea for you.
I think I do feel that I want to explore and experiment with what it means to pull a brand back. I call it quiet or more precise branding, where you're not just out there like yelling and creating a lot of noise and trying to get attention, but you're attracting it in a more values forward move.
I like that.
Movements were created like this, where someone real was at the center of it, and that value, it went through the movement.
They were the attractor that brought like-minded people into the movement.
Right, and people just
And
came
that's
in,
where the momentum
and it's
came
like
from.
old school word of mouth.
Yeah.
When you have that level of interconnectedness, and I think that brands that come out, and this is, I guess, a case in point. This
We already do this
podcast
for
doesn't
brands.
have much branding or labeling to it because we just couldn't figure it out.
Not yet.
I mean, I feel like this is something so weird and different in the world that, and it's not a new.
So we think.
It's not a new idea. Podcasting is probably the most worn out idea there is. Like, so we're not fresh on that, but the reality that we came into it not knowing what we were doing and trying to define it over and over and spending so much money to try and define it.
I'm
Yeah.
the one who's been harping on the money, but it's like we knew what it was until we didn't know what it was, and then we knew what it was until we didn't know what it was. And I think we're finally to the place of, I don't know what this is.
We had it labeled it like 3 or 4 times and we kept
Yeah.
taking it apart. And now it's just age. And it works for me because it allows the movement and the flex of what we evolve into in this process.
Well, and it'll start, I hope y'all can tell us, it will start to make more sense because regardless of what we call it, there's something here.
Yeah.
And I think it will manifest.
Right. Yeah.
And
Totally.
I think that we're doing some in my life. I don't know about how the rest of the world is living, but like this is an experiment in presence. And I'm gonna say embodiment again, that it's like, what if you stopped saying it and just started doing it?
Yeah, we live into the label. The label will define itself as we keep living our truth through
We'll
this
eventually reap what we're sowing.
Through these conversations, yeah.
And for all those that are being inundated with like personal branding narrative, it's good. I think that personal branding is good in the world of AI, where you need a stance and a value set.
It makes you think about yourself too, which
It
you
does.
deserve some
Like
space to do.
I think branding is all internal and it just emanates out. But I would say when you're looking for a personal brand, do it quietly. Like, find it in you. Don't try and push it on yourself.
Soul search.
Let yourself develop and evolve into it. Process your ideas, process your thoughts, and your values and things you like to do and things you don't like to do. It can be simple.
Live your truth.
But don't just do it just to be successful to have a brand, because that is the most distracted trail you can take.
It's a very entrepreneurial take on brand, but I went to the NC Idea Conference in 2023. Wonderful organization, you should look them up. And I walked away from that conference thinking, there's a number of levers that we're gonna need to pull to like right the ship that is the United States or maybe the globe, I don't know. But I was like, entrepreneurship could be the thing that changes the world.
Yeah.
Like people going into business to make stuff that they believe in for the community that they're in could be the thing that fixes all of it in a way. And I think that's a very different approach, being an entrepreneur and saying, well, let me take what's inside of me and figure out how to make it real is very different than let me study the market and identify where the gap is and let me stake that claim and become what they need. It's like, be who you are and find the people who need that.
Right.
Ruthlessly be who you are.
Love that.
Are we done here?
Yeah, I
I
think
love that. That's great.
so thanks for watching. This has been Age. Can't wait for you to tell us what it is. And hope we'll see you next week. Are we going to get back together and do another one of these?
Absolutely.
I think so. I'm in flow.
Week after week after week.
All right.
Spread the
Thanks,
love.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll break down.
So me smiling there, just
Do
like,
we want to do a Polaroid? Do we even have that film?
Let's do
I
it.
can't actually find the camera.
What?
Thanks for listening. This podcast was created and developed by our hosts, Reggie Tidwell, Tim Scroggs, Mary Greene, and Dylan Garcia. Produced by me, Mary Greene. Live production and editing by Will Kennedy. Graphic design by Dylan Garcia. And set design by Megan Scroggs. Today's episode is presented lovingly by 40 Hearts, creators of enduring value.